Hello, sixth grade, and welcome to Thursday. Of course, we have our festive attire for our St. Patrick's Day because of everything. Almost forgot it was, right? 17th, of course, and the 19th, our great friend St. Joseph. So great celebration to these wonderful, wonderful saints in our faith. We celebrate them now and always, and of course this year to a minimum with great, great celebration, but we keep them in mind always. What I'd like to do is take a moment and go ahead and begin to review the pages. So let me share the screen. We're going to begin to review the pages beginning with page 57. So what I'd like to do is let you know that by Thursday at 8, you should have posted the 4 pages correctly. If for some reason you have not posted or shared the 4 pages yet, please do so, pause the video, okay, and take care of that first. What I would like to do is begin with 57. Please take out a pen, and if you're not adding more details to anything, you're not going to get full credit. I'm sure many of you have correct answers, but you have all the details I don't know, so please add some more details. Number 1, what is the 8th commandment? The 8th commandment is, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. 2, what does the 8th commandment forbid? So we're told right through the 8th commandment, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. What does the 8th commandment forbid? It forbids any deliberate, on purpose, deliberate falsehood and unjust damage to another person's reputation. Okay? We're saying something about another that's false just to damage the reputation. That can be slander, lying, detraction, rash judgment, which we'll get to in a little bit. But basically, you are going ahead and telling a lie about another just to have an impact on their overall reputation. Number 3, what does the 8th commandment require? The 8th commandment requires us to speak the truth at all times and responsibly, and to avoid rash judgment of our neighbor's actions. To avoid rash judgment, okay? Rash judgment is to judge another person's character on little to no evidence. So we're just judging somebody because, a friend told me, that he did this, or she said that, or they sent this message. And there's no truth to it, really. It's flimsy evidence, but you're quick to judge them. That's rash judgment. Okay, so the 8th commandment requires each of us to speak the truth responsibly and to avoid rash judgment of our neighbor's actions. 4, why is telling the truth important? Telling the truth is important because if men were not truthful, if men and women were not truthful, it would be impossible to live together. If our world was filled with lies, if our world was filled with injustice, it would be impossible for us to work together. 5, why did Jesus say he was born into the world? Jesus says that he was born into the world to bear witness to the truth. He was going to be a witness to the truth. He was going to bear witness to the truth. 6, did Pilate recognize the truth? Yes, Pilate does eventually recognize the truth. 7, how did Pilate agree to a lie? Pilate gave in under pressure. He gave in under pressure, and in turn, he condemns Jesus. He does condemn Jesus, as we remember. Number wrong on the top, please let me know if you have any questions in the message board. And let's go to number wrong on the top in 58. Answers vary quite a bit on this page. Just have your answer along the lines of this. Number 1, what value do words have? Why do we use them? Words can have a great value as long as we stick to our word. For example, if I tell Justin that I'm going to help him after school at 3:30 on Wednesday, but then at 3:30 on Wednesday he comes for extra help and I'm not there, I went home, right? Now, was my word good? No. Let's say Emily said, Mr. A, you said you're going to help me tonight on my project. And then I never respond. And I said I would. My word is not good. Okay. Words can have great value. Words can have great value. Think of words of encouragement. Maybe I'll drop that down. Words of encouragement when we may be struggling. Think about maybe if we're playing a game, basketball or a sports activity, and we're not doing great or we're not doing the best we can. We're a little discouraged. Think of a moment when somebody may have given you some great courage. And those words at that moment had great value to you to continue to persevere. 2, what would happen if everything or everyone said things they didn't mean? What would happen if everyone said something that they didn't mean? The world would be filled with lies. If everybody said something they didn't mean, the world would be filled with lies. There would be no truth. You wouldn't have people helping others, and you would not have people state anything credible. There's no credibility. If everybody said something they didn't mean, like, oh, okay, that's really nice. Brian is dressed nicely today, and then behind his back we're talking about him. Or if I tell Jalen, I'm going to go ahead help you on this question, and all of a sudden I don't. I go help somebody else. My word is not credible. Talking behind someone's back, right, and saying something in front of them, we're showing that the words have no value. We're just expressing, and there's no value. Number 3, why is lying a sin? Lying is a sin, number 1, because it goes against the commandments. Okay, it goes against the commandments, specifically focusing on the 8th commandment. At the same time, lying is a sin basically because you're not being truthful. You're not following a great example of Christ and the saints who stuck to truth, who overcame sin and obstacles, okay, in their lifetime and focused in on telling the truth, bearing the true witness to God, and contributing to our world by not lying, not filling our world with lies. Because many people right here watching the video know that our world right now is filled with many lies. And it's important for us not to just fit in and say, well, the other person's doing it, so I'm just going to do that too. No, words are valuable. I've always been somebody, if I say I'm going to work with you at 9 a.m., that I'm always going to be there, 10 minutes before. It's something that I've always done, even when I was in middle school and high school. I like to be on top of my game. It bothers me if I say something and I forget to do it. Not intentional, but I forget. I feel, wow, it looks as if it's intentional. My words have no value. So it's important for your words to have value, especially in a world filled with text messages and emails and all this different social media where we could say a lot, but do we mean it? Is it truthful? And how will that be good for overall society? That's important to keep in mind. Should we lie to get out of trouble? Number 4, no, we shouldn't lie to get out of trouble. We know that at times we might go ahead and lie to get out of trouble. Just like if Amani is asked by her little friend, hey, did you eat the last cookie in the cabinet? No, I didn't even know there was one there. But Amani did eat the last one. She's just trying to get out of trouble from her little friend. So she said, no, I don't know it's there, even though she did. So that was a lie to get out of trouble. But of course, that's not going to really, eating the last cookie is not going to have a major impact on someone's life. It could make a little friend frustrated. But we have to realize it's not a life and death situation. Or let's say our friend Elizabeth, mom says, did you do your assignment? Elizabeth said, yeah, I did. Well, Mr. A, Elizabeth's mom says, Mr. A, Mr. A just emailed me. He told me you didn't do it. So where is it? Elizabeth says, no, Mr. A is wrong. But Elizabeth, of course, always does her work, but she'll say, well, wait a minute. No, I did it on time, even though she really didn't. And all of a sudden, she's just trying to get out of trouble. And when we get into this life filled with lies, that becomes, quote unquote, the normal. So we want to avoid that at all times, even when society makes it look as if it is acceptable when it's not. 5, should we lie to make someone else feel better? No, even though it makes somebody feel better, we should always be truthful with them. I'm not referencing, let's say, if somebody wears a shirt. You think this shirt is good to wear, it's appropriate, everything's good, but you feel it's not the best color or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be good. And even though you don't feel, the best in that, That's different. But let's say somebody says, "Do you feel this is good to wear?" and it's really not appropriate, or maybe it has some wording that's not great. You don't want to just say, "Oh yeah, that looks fine." You make yourself look good, even though they're not making themselves look good. It's a bad image. We don't want to hurt someone's reputation with intention. You may want to put a star next to 6. Think about being a hypocrite, right? What is hypocrisy? Hypocrisy is pretending to be better than we really are, or pretending to believe in something we do not believe in just to impress people. That's being a hypocrite, pretending that we're better than we really are, or just believing in something that we don't truly believe in because we just want to impress others. 7, is it wrong to be on your best behavior to make a good impression? No, it is not wrong to be on your best behavior just to make a good impression. Think about if Mr. V comes into the class. Sometimes in the class, even silly friends calm down a notch because we're trying to make a good impression on the school administrator who has come to see what we're doing. Now, we should behave correctly even when nobody is watching. Okay? Well, we said that even if I step out of the classroom for 5 minutes, we should be. I never do that, right? And I never will, but we should still be working. Why do we have to be always constantly reminded by those in authority? Not sure. That's how we all seem to work in society, right? But let's say if Mr. E comes in, we want to give that best impression, that best behavior to show how good we can truly be. Number 8, why must we keep our word? Remember what I said? Sometimes the word of others is not that great. It can be loose, and then less people will trust and rely on you. 8, we must keep our word because it would be dishonest not to do so. It would be dishonest not to keep our word. Less people would trust us, less people would depend on us, and we wouldn't be that person who is that dependable friend. Think about somebody right now who may be that one person you can always rely on. I know that person's I forgot to write down the assignment. I know if I message that person, they'll get back to me right away, and tell me what pages I have to do, or I need somebody to really help me with the project or a gig, some type of activity that I'm doing. You can go ahead and rely on someone. Think of that one person you can rely on because their word is good. Number wrong on the top, 59. Please go to 59 with a pen. Number 1, how can speaking the truth be sinful? What would be more prudent and charitable in this situation? If speaking the truth will hurt someone's good name, okay, it is sinful to do so. If done without sufficient reason, it would be better to remain silent. What that means is maybe something is true about another person and you're asked, do you know about that other friend, what they did? Oh yeah, I know what they did. Let me show you the messages. Let me show you the pictures they posted, what they were. Oh, look how silly they are and how wrong that was. Right? We start to say, oh, look what they did, how sinful that was. And that's basically what we're doing. And we're bragging, not something we did. We're saying, oh, look what they wrote, almost putting it on the show for others, going around spreading the message. You're hurting somebody's good name. Well, Mr. A, they did something they weren't supposed to. So I'm just telling others. Well, we want to avoid that because what that does is it's going to make you not look, to be that person to trust. It's not going to make you look really loyal or honest. So you want to make sure not to go around and do that as best you can for the world, yes, and for you, yes, and for the others, yes. You want to be that person that could be trusted and not going around and sharing. It's better sometimes to remain silent. Yeah, I heard they did something, but I'm really not the one to speak. Why don't you just go and ask them? Right? Why don't you go and ask them? I don't know. I don't want to stay out of it. So think of a time where you might have stayed out of something and how that helped. Well, maybe you're like, well, I don't usually stay out of it. I get in the middle of it. But did it ever cause any bigger drama? Did it ever cause any tension between you and others? Think about that and how it may have been helpful to remain silent. 2, why is a good name hard to regain once it's lost? Well, your answers may vary, but how does your name, right? How does your good name, once it's lost, how can it be hard to regain? It's hard to get others to trust you and give you another chance once you have lost it. Once you're that person that's going to go around and share everybody's image, oh, look at them here, or let me show you what they wrote, or going around talking about others. Once you go around and do that, you become a great gossiper. It's hard for people to trust you because they look and they remember. Oh, I remember when we were in 5th grade, you said this, or in 6th grade, you did that. And your name is not credible. It's important. It's important in today's society to realize the value that comes with our good name and to hold it there and to stay truthful at all times. 3, how can we take care to be worthy of a good reputation? How can we care for ourselves to continue to have a good and decent reputation? To be worthy of a good reputation, we should not seek fame. We should not seek fame. We want to say, oh, I would like to have the most followers. I'm going to post the videos of myself here showing off or bragging or dancing, whatever it may be, because I want to have this, want to be famous, right? Or I want to have a good reputation. We need to put that aside even when society says, yeah, post more videos, reply to this one, share this one, send this image. We simply need to love God. We simply need to love our neighbor. And we need to be a faithful follower of Christ. We don't want to have a good reputation just so we can be popular. Oh, I'm going to help Emily because it's going to show others how good I am or how nice I am. Or I'm going to participate in Tigers in Action just so I could have my picture in the newsletter to show how good I am. Right? We don't do that for fame. We do it for God. We do it for neighbors. We do it for love of others. 4, what is slander? What is slander? It's the use of lies to hurt someone. It's the use of lies to intentionally hurt another. Slander. If you commit the sin of slander, 5, if you commit the sin of slander, what is your grave obligation? So if you use lies to hurt another, what do you need to do now? If you spread lies, whether it was intention or, oh, it just kind of happened, I just thought it would be fun or it would be okay. Now there is a grave obligation to repair the damage done by the sin of slander. You have to fix up the mess that you have created, or that Mr. I didn't create it, or the mess that you got involved in. How can you now stop, back up, fix this, repair this? And it may seem impossible. It may be nearly impossible. That's why we must think before we act. These are workbook questions. These are chapter questions, but they're also a way of living our life according to, yes, the faith, but of course to being the greatest person we can be. Because once the reputation is lost, it's hard to regain. Number wrong on the top, please. 60. Please go to 60. Put a star next to number 1, 60. Rash judgment. What is rash judgment? It is to judge another's person. It's to judge another person's character on flimsy evidence. We're judging another person's character with little to no evidence. 2, I'm sure many of us are familiar with this one. 2, what is gossip? Gossip is talking about the faults of another or exaggerating them. You're going around saying, oh, look what this person did. Look what they said. Look what they wrote. Or maybe even taking it to the next level, exaggerating, make that the other person look worse than they actually are. Going ahead and gossiping, sharing with as many people as you can. Excuse me. We live in a world today where you hit one button, you can share with thousands, right? People, 100 people, thousands of people. And we have to be careful before we hit that post, because even when you feel, oh, I deleted it, well, maybe the other person could have screenshotted it. Maybe the other person could have saved it. maybe the person that already shared it with 100,000 other people, you need to be careful. Think twice, please. 3, what does gossiping do to another's good's name? Whether true or not, gossiping destroys the other person's name. Gossiping destroys another's good name. 4, should we be willing to listen to gossip? Some of you might say, oh yeah, it's interesting. This ain't fun. No, we must turn, we must walk away. We must realize we're going to damage, number 1, the other's reputation. 2, our own good name, our own reputation. 5, what is a secret? A secret is something we don't want others to know. A secret is something we don't want others to know. 6, must we keep a promise of keeping a secret? So if Brianna tells one of her friends, Brianna says, oh, I'm going to tell you this. And she says something, right, to Emily. And Emily said, yeah, I'll never tell anybody. I'll never tell anybody. So Emily just made a promise, I'll never tell anybody. And then if somebody asks Emily about, oh, what happened with Brianna? And now if Emily starts to share that, okay, her promise that she said she would keep a secret is now broken. 7, can speech be used as a weapon? Absolutely. Speech can be the most hurtful weapon. Think of in history how speech has impacted so many people. How has speech impacted you? How does speech impact our present day? Speech can be a great weapon because it can cause the greatest of harm. Is it okay? 8, is it okay to discuss difficult situations with other people when it involves a third party? That means another person. For example, if Mary and Jane have a fight, can Mary talk about it with her mother for advice? Absolutely. Because she's going to her mother, that older individual, to help her, to guide her. One of you might go to a sibling or a friend when you're in a fight with another. We shouldn't talk to them just to escalate the situation, make it larger, right, than it needs to be. But we go to them because they are there to guide us, not say, oh yeah, let's get back at them now, let's team up. No, we're looking at them for advice. We're looking at them as a role model, especially if they're older, and for us to go ahead and handle the situation properly, not to escalate it. What I'd like you to do for today, make the corrections, post the corrections here. If, oh no, you forgot your cards last time, put them here as well. And what I'd like you to do is review these pages. I'm going to have on Friday, we're going to have a little quiz like the other day, and then we'll be right on track where we need to be. Let me know if you have any questions, post everything. There's a lot of details there. In addition to knowing these are workbook pages, know that these are a way of life. What I'd like you to do is keep that in mind now and always. Enjoy your day. Take care. And remember that words can truly hurt others. Stay on track, and we can be all both on track and celebrating our great work soon. Take care. Goodbye.